Nature gives every newborn a biological advantage, but only for a very short time. Before mature breast milk comes in, a mother's body produces a substance unlike anything that follows. A golden liquid so concentrated that even tiny drops deliver an extraordinary combination of immune protection, growth factors and living cells. It's called colostrum, and it may be one of the most important gifts a mother ever gives a child. It's a living substance that changes with the baby, communicates with the baby's body, and helps protect a newborn while their immune system is still developing. Today we are exploring the incredible science behind colostrum and breastfeeding, why the first milk is often called liquid gold, how breast milk adapts to a baby's needs, and the amazing things happening between a mother and her baby every time they breastfeed. Colostrum is the very first milk produced after childbirth. It usually appears during the first few days after birth before mature breast milk comes in. Unlike the milk most people picture, colostrum is thick, sticky, and often yellow or golden in color. It isn't produced in large amounts, and that's completely intentional. A newborn's stomach is only about the size of a cherry on the first day of life, so they simply don't need large volumes of milk. Instead, the mother's body produces a highly concentrated substance that delivers exactly what the baby needs in those first critical days. Colostrum contains more protein and immune protective components than mature breast milk. It's less about filling the baby's stomach and more about protecting and preparing their body for life outside the womb. That's why it's earned the nickname liquid gold. One of the most remarkable things about colostrum is that it acts almost like a baby's first immune system. When babies are born, their immune system is still immature. Suddenly, they're entering a world filled with bacteria, viruses, and countless microorganisms their body has never encountered before, and colostrum helps bridge that gap. It contains high concentrations of secretory immunoglobulin A, or IgA, an antibody that coats the lining of a baby's intestines. Instead of simply killing germs, it forms a protective barrier that makes it harder for harmful bacteria and viruses to attach to the gut wall. Colostrum also contains white blood cells, immune proteins, and powerful compounds like lactoferrin, which helps limit the growth of harmful bacteria by binding to iron, something many bacteria need to survive. So from the very first feeding, a baby's body isn't just receiving nutrition, it's receiving immune protection specifically designed for the earliest days of life. Another fascinating role of colostrum is how it helps build a baby's gut microbiome. Inside every healthy digestive system lives a community of beneficial bacteria that play an essential role in digestion, immune function, and overall health. Colostrum contains unique sugars called human milk oligosaccharides, or HMOs. What's amazing is that babies don't actually digest these sugars for nutrition. Instead, they're there to feed beneficial bacteria, especially bifidobacteria. By nourishing these helpful microbes, HMOs help establish a healthy balance inside the baby's intestines while making it more difficult for harmful bacteria to thrive. Colostrum also helps babies pass their first stool, known as meconium. Meconium is a thick, dark substance that builds up inside the intestines before birth. Colostrum acts as a gentle natural laxative, helping move this first stool out of the body. The process is more important than it sounds because passing meconium helps remove excess bilirubin, reducing the risk of newborn jaundice. As the days pass, colostrum gradually transitions into mature breast milk. But breast milk doesn't stay the same. One of the most extraordinary things about breastfeeding is that human milk is constantly changing. It changes as the baby grows, it changes depending on the baby's age, it even changes during a single feeding. At the beginning of a feed, the milk generally contains more water, helping satisfy the baby's thirst. As the feeding continues, the milk typically becomes richer in fat and calories, providing more energy before the feeding ends. Breast milk isn't a fixed recipe, it's constantly adapting. Another fact many people don't realize is that breast milk is considered a living biological fluid. It contains antibodies, white blood cells, beneficial bacteria, hormones, enzymes, growth factors, and scientists have even identified cells with stem-like properties in human milk, though researchers are still studying exactly what role these cells play in infant development. Perhaps one of the most astonishing discoveries in recent years is that breastfeeding appears to be a two-way conversation. Researchers believe that when babies nurse, tiny amounts of their saliva interact with the nipple. Those interactions may provide signals that influence the mother's immune response, helping adjust certain immune components in her milk. In other words, the baby isn't just receiving milk. The baby's body may actually be helping shape what's in it. Breastfeeding also changes the mother's body. Every time a baby nurses, the mother's brain releases oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. Oxytocin causes the milk to be released while also promoting feelings of attachment and reducing stress. Another hormone called prolactin helps stimulate milk production and supports ongoing lactation. Together, these hormones create a powerful biological connection between mother and child, Skin-to-skin contact during breastfeeding adds even more benefits. It helps regulate a newborn's body temperature, breathing and heart rate while strengthening the emotional bond between mother and baby. Breast milk even changes depending on the time of day. Milk produced at night contains higher levels of compounds associated with sleep regulation, including signals related to melatonin. Researchers believe this may help support the development of a baby's natural sleep rhythms. It's another example of how human milk adapts to meet a baby's changing needs. One surprising fact is that breast milk doesn't always look the same. It can appear white, bluish, yellow, cream-colored, or even greenish depending on factors such as the stage of lactation, the mother's diet, and other natural variations. Those color changes are usually completely normal. Another common misconception is that larger breasts produce more milk. In reality, breast size is mostly determined by fatty tissue. Milk production depends much more on the amount and function of milk-producing glandular tissue and how effectively milk is removed during breastfeeding. Finally, it's worth remembering that breastfeeding is about much more than nutrition. For a newborn, breastfeeding provides warmth, comfort, familiarity, and security. The baby recognizes their mother's scent. They hear her heartbeat. They feel her warmth. They're comforted by her voice. Those first golden drops are far more than milk. They're one of nature's most extraordinary gifts, a carefully designed beginning that helps give a newborn the strongest possible start in life. If you learned something new today, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more surprising science about the human body.